In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, State President Tô attends National Day of National Security Protection. And later on, 500 kilovolt circuit 3 transmission line project construction progress ensured. And in world news, cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike sued over global outage.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Dilin Lei with the latest updates. Now, State President Tô attended the National Day for National Security Protection in Cờ Đông Ward, Hoàn Kiếm District, Hanoi on Friday afternoon. He emphasized the need to promote a practical approach and innovation in protection measures for each area.
Located in the capital's center, Cờ Đông is a densely populated ward with over 400 businesses. With 5 community patrol stations and an exemplar of households combating local crimes, the ward is praised as a good model for encouraging everyone to protect national security. State President Tô highly appreciated the efforts of the party committee, government, and people of Hanoi City, Cờ Đông Ward, and Hoàn Kiếm District. He emphasized the significance of national security protection and noted the need to foster the link between the movement of all people protecting national security and other programs.
Ensuring security and order is crucial to improving people's lives. This will ensure people's safety, happiness, and favorable conditions for people's businesses. This is the goal of the party and of the state, and at the same time, a very legitimate aspiration of all people. The movement encourages support among the people. They are the first-hand safeguards to the region's security, timely solving conflicts, and supporting neighbors in need.
State President Tô requested they continue improving the quality of self-management, self-defense, and self-reconciliation among households, communities, and businesses. He also demanded a prompt reward for achievements and supporting policies for any unexpected injury, sacrifice, or property damage when participating in the movement. It is also necessary to develop a grassroots police force with political qualities, good professional ethics, and legal expertise. They must stay close to the people and understand them to effectively implement the party and government's movement for communities to play a role in national security protection.
As part of his state visit to India, Prime Minister Ming delivered a policy speech at the Indian Council of World Affairs, or ICWA, on August the 1st, in the presence of numerous Indian politicians, professors, researchers, scholars, and students.
At the event, Prime Minister Pham expressed sincere gratitude to Indian leaders and the country's population for their deep sympathy for the party, state, government, and people of Vietnam over the passing of Party General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong. Regarding the global situation, the Vietnamese leader noted that the world is still witnessing increasing complexities and uncertainties, with unprecedented issues emerging. To find effective, inclusive, and global solutions, the international community must persist more than ever in dialogue and cooperation in the spirit of solidarity and unity in diversity. He stated that after nearly 40 years of renewal, Doi Mai, Vietnam has developed a theoretical framework for its reform path. The country has been promoting 3 strategic breakthroughs in terms of institutions, infrastructure, and human resources, as well as 6 key policies regarding external affairs, national defense, economic development, social welfare, cultural development, and party building for the country's development.
Our focuses include ensuring political stability and social order, promoting innovation and flexibility in policy making for effective adaptation to global developments, and mobilizing all resources for development. It's also crucial to foster international cooperation and multilateralism and maintain peace, cooperation, and development worldwide. We aim to ensure citizens' benefits, so no one is left behind.
In terms of Vietnam-India relations, the government leader emphasized that amid current rapid and complicated developments in the world, Vietnam and India should strongly uphold their tradition of friendship and solidarity and enhance their effective cooperation to achieve new strategic goals together. He noted his firm belief in the bright prospects of the Vietnam-India relationship, contributing to peace, cooperation, and sustainable development in the Indian Ocean, Asia-Pacific region, and globally.
Prime Minister Ming hosted separate receptions in New Delhi on August the 1st afternoon local time for Jagat Prakash Nadda, president of the Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP, and Mallikarjun Kharge, president of the Indian National Congress INC, during his state visit to India.
Receiving Jagat Prakash Nadda, president of the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh proposed the BJP's support increased connectivity and the opening of more direct air routes between the two countries, creation of greater access to the Indian market for Vietnamese products, and the enhancement of cooperation with the Communist Party of Vietnam through increasing delegation exchanges and meetings, establishing cooperation mechanisms, and setting forth major directions for bilateral relations. For his part, the BJP president congratulated Vietnam on its socio-economic development achievements, emphasizing his commitment to maintaining the close relationship between the two people. While receiving Mallikarjun Kharge and several other leaders of the party, and former Indian National Congress INC President Sonia Gandhi, Prime Minister expressed his gratitude for the contributions of the INC to the development of the two countries' relation. The Vietnamese leader also highlighted that both countries are leveraging their strengths and enhancing collaboration across various fields, including defense and security, economics and trade, science and technology, culture and education, and people-to-people exchanges. For his part, the INC president affirmed that he will consistently support the consolidation and further strengthening of the traditional friendship between the INC and the CPV, through information sharing, consultations, and delegation exchanges in the coming time.
On Friday, Prime Minister Pham Minh met with Timor-Leste President José Ramos Horta during the president's state visit to Vietnam. The Prime Minister proposed extending or signing a new Memorandum of Understanding on rice trade and encouraged Timor-Leste to increase imports of Vietnamese goods, including textiles, footwear, beverages, dairy products, and agricultural and aquatic products. He also urged Timor-Leste to address obstacles and create better conditions for Vietnamese businesses to invest, particularly in telecommunications, digital services, and oil and gas. President Ramos Horta expressed hope that Vietnam would support Timor-Leste in areas where it excels and increase investment in Timor-Leste. Prime Minister Pham Minh commended Timor-Leste's determination and efforts and reaffirmed Vietnam's support for the country bid to become a full ASEAN member. A 25-year boundary treaty has enabled Vietnam and China to maintain stability along their land border and improve the ability of border localities to increase exchanges and cooperation. The information was announced by the Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam CPV Central Committee and Chair of the CPV Central Committee's Commission for External Relations Lê Hoài Trung at a conference in Hanoi on August the 2nd to mark a quarter of a century of the Vietnam-China Boundary Treaty and 15 years of 3 legal agreements on land border and border management between the two countries. The completion of the demarcation line on December the 31st, 2008 was of great historical significance, opening a new page in bilateral relations. Bilateral trade turnover increased from only $30 million in 1991 to nearly $172 billion by the end of last year. Mr. Lee Hwa-chung also emphasized that these results will serve as experience in Vietnam and China in finding effective solutions to the East Sea issue. Secretary of the Party Central Committee and Chair of the Party Central Committee's Commission for External Relations, Lee Hwa-chung, hosted a reception for Tokai Kisaburo, Chair of the Policy Research Council of the Liberal Democratic Party of Japan, on Friday. The Vietnamese leader spoke highly of Japan's support for Vietnam during the nation's socio-economic development over the past years. He urged the two nations to enhance mutual understanding and political trust by exchanging visits across government, parliament, and party channels. He suggested that the two sides coordinate to effectively carry out the comprehensive strategic partnership and promote collaboration in economy, trade, investment, security, defense, and people-to-people exchange. With its strategic position in politics, economics, social affairs, defense, and security in Vietnam, the Central Highlands needs special mechanisms for its future stability and development, leaders of Central Highlands provinces said at a conference in Buôn Ma Thuột City on August the 2nd. Addressing the conference, Deputy Prime Minister Trần Lưu Quang agreed with local authorities that the region should develop special development mechanisms and policies as they play a particularly important strategic role and position in the country. He also said that localities in the region should pay special attention to ethnic affairs, the implementation of ethnic policies, and the training of officials working on ethnic affairs. The Deputy Prime Minister also reminded the Central Highlands provinces to pay close attention to human resource development, forest management and protection, and the settlement of free migration. The conference was held to gather local opinions regarding the development and stability of the Central Highlands region to inform reports for the forthcoming 14th National Party Congress in early 2026. The handover of 1,177 column foundations and 530 corridor anchorages for the 500 kV Circuit 3 power transmission line project, stretching from Quang Trạch, Quang Binh to Phô Nội, Hưng Yên, has been completed. Construction units at the project site have now been mobilized to finalize the remaining work and meet the project schedule.
Column foundations 214 and 215 in the Nam Định 1 Phô Nội section are among the 7 tallest in the project, each 145 meters high and over 400 tons. Technology has reduced their construction time from 2 months to just 1.
We've identified the optimal solution. To erect the 145 meters high columns, we use a 400-ton crane with a 158 meters reach, thus shortening the construction time.
The Nam Định 1 Phô Nội section is one of 4 key components of the 500 kilovolt Line 3 project, spanning nearly 130 kilometers with 334 column foundations. Despite challenging weather, maintaining project progress remains a top priority.
The section has nearly completed the pole erection and is over 70% done with wire installation. Despite hot and rainy conditions, the investor and construction teams are focused on finishing by August to meet the Prime Minister's directive for National Day celebrations on September 2nd.
Completing the 500 kilovolt Circuit 3 transmission line will alleviate the load on existing 500 kilovolt lines, enhance transmission stability in the north-central regions, and boost power capacity from the north-central to the northern load center. This will add over 20 billion kilowatts per hour of commercial electricity to the north annually.
Coming up next on VTV News. State President's decision on amnesty in 2024 announced. And later on, Shrek the Musical returns to Vietnam. Now, moving on to other important updates, the presidential office announced the state president's decision on amnesty in 2024 at a press conference in Hanoi on August the 2nd. Decision number 758 on amnesty in 2024 was signed by President Tô Lâm on July 30th on the 79th National Day, September the 2nd, and the 70th anniversary of the liberation of Hanoi on October the 10th. Amnesty for time served will be counted until September 30th, 2024, according to the decision, which clarifies that eligible prisoners include those serving a fixed-term prison sentence, those sentenced to life imprisonment that has been reduced to a fixed-term prison sentence, and those whose prison sentence is temporarily suspended. The amnesty continues to affirm the party and state's consistent policy in promoting and protecting human rights fairly and equally for all citizens, including those serving prison sentences. Japan's new immigration law, which was passed by the Japanese parliament in June, will establish a new foreign worker training system to replace the current program. The new system is expected to take effect in 2027, but right now, Japanese localities have come up with many policies to attract Vietnamese workers.
A seminar on promoting support for Vietnamese workers in Japan to integrate into local communities took place in Tokyo, bringing together managers, policymakers from Japanese localities, and representatives from Vietnam. Yamanashi Prefecture introduced the first health insurance system for relatives in Vietnam of Vietnamese workers working in prefecture.
We are establishing a new insurance system that will benefit Vietnamese workers in Yamanashi Prefecture, including insurance for their family members in Vietnam. Many Vietnamese workers are worried about their families back home. This is to attract more Vietnamese workers to our prefecture.
Other prefectures with a lot of Vietnamese workers, such as Aichi and Kanagawa, have introduced comprehensive support policies for Vietnamese workers, such as establishing support centers, administrative departments of foreigners, opening free language classes, life skills, and introducing childcare, so that foreign workers can work long-term with peace of mind.
We are promoting broad discussions in the prefecture, especially for small and medium-sized companies, where Vietnamese workers are in great need, to create the easiest environment for them.
We are implementing various initiatives to attract Vietnamese workers, such as organizing training sessions, free language courses, and interactive activities with businesses, so that workers can find the jobs they want.
Japan's new regulations on the use of immigrant workers are set to aim at training skills and better protecting the rights of foreign workers, overcoming the situation of illegal and disguised labor. Japan is working to perfect the mechanisms so that foreigners can work here for life.
On Friday, over 200 youths participated in the Dialogue with Leaders, Women and Youth Actively Leading Communication Efforts to Prevent Human Trafficking event. The event called for comprehensive coordination to empower young people in the fight against human trafficking.
The Central Committee of Vietnam Women's Union, International Organization for Migration, and the UK government jointly organized the dialogue. Raising public awareness is considered the key solution to mitigate human trafficking. Most of today's human trafficking transactions take place on online platforms. A media initiative competition has been launched among youths nationwide.
So IOM works in trafficking, and based on our data, significant number of children are affected by trafficking in persons. So we want to make sure that children, youths, are protected and they are equipped themselves to be able to protect themselves, but not only that, but also influence their community as well. Because first, the youth are very innovative, and they're the ones who are most familiar with the online world.
This is a brand new issue for Binh Duong's young people. Our initiative is called the Safe Migration Passport Festival. During the event, we organized several activities for students in Binh Duong and nearby provinces, including plays, competitions about human trafficking, and flash mob dance competitions.
Meanwhile, many young Vietnamese are looking for jobs and study opportunities abroad. Traffickers are making use of online media to approach children and young people who spend a lot of time on the internet. As a result, Vietnam's authority has adjusted its communication strategy to combat human trafficking.
Communication programs used to be in-person meetings, rallies, and direct training. But now, we use social platforms and the internet to spread our message. We have seen so many creative initiatives and communication efforts targeted at different audiences, from young people.
Vietnam has demonstrated its strong commitment to combating human trafficking by finalizing the 2011 Law on Prevention and Combating Human Trafficking. The legislation is currently being revised to address the increasingly complicated issue of human trafficking. In addition to the dialogue, an exhibition and interactive experience spaces have been used to raise people's awareness of this issue.
To celebrate 3 years of presenting Broadway quality shows to young audiences in Vietnam, the Universe Art Unit is reprising Shrek the Musical with a fresh, new production entitled Shrek on National Tour. This large-scale staging features storytelling through lighting and dynamic stage sounds, offering a unique musical experience. The show aims to promote messages of equality and respect for individual differences. Performances take place in Hanoi on August the 2nd to the 3rd. Coming up next in our world news. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike sued over global outage. And later on, Andean glacier retreat unprecedented in human civilization. Now moving on to our world news, cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike is facing legal action from shareholders after one of its software updates caused a massive global computer outage on July the 19th. The meltdown hit thousands of businesses worldwide, disrupting airports, banks, hospitals, and broadcasters. The lawsuit accuses the company of making false and misleading statements about its software testing. The legal complaint specifically highlights statements made by the CEO that the software was validated, tested, and certified. CrowdStrike is one of the world's most popular cybersecurity providers with a market cap of $83 billion. CrowdStrike's spokesperson stated that they believe this case lacks merit and will vigorously defend the company. Floods are causing severe damage to lives and property in India and Pakistan. According to experts, climate change is increasing the frequency and severity of floods and landslides in South Asia. In India, downpours caused flash floods that killed 13 people and stranded 700 in the Himalayan foothills. Earlier on Tuesday, over 200 people were killed in Kerala state when landslides hit villages and tea plantations. In Pakistan, the National Disaster Management Authority said heavy rains and flash floods in July have claimed the lives of 99 people and injured more than 200. Additionally, Pakistan has suffered heavy infrastructure damage, with 8 bridges destroyed and 400 houses destroyed. Heavy rains and thunderstorms are forecast to continue in many parts of the country until August the 6th. Teenagers who are unhealthily preoccupied with their smartphones are more likely to be anxious, depressed, and suffer insomnia, a new UK study suggests. The first study surveyed over 650 teenagers aged 16 to 18 from 5 schools across the UK. A second analysis was conducted among a smaller group of 62 pupils aged 13 to 16 from 2 London schools. Among those identified with problematic smartphone use, they were twice as likely to experience symptoms of anxiety and 3 times more likely to suffer from depression than peers without problematic smartphone use. Experts highlight the importance of parents conversing with their children about smartphone use. Researchers from the Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology, and Neuroscience at King's College London conducted the study. Recent glacier retreat across the Andes is unprecedented in the history of human civilization, according to a new study published in Science on Thursday. The discovery shocked scientists who initially planned to study the current state of glaciers and how they varied throughout human civilization. More on this following story.
The study collected data from 4 Andes glaciers comprising 99% of the world's tropical glaciers. These glaciers are more susceptible to changing weather since they're consistently at or near freezing point.
We thought that this result was decades away. It just goes to show that this is happening faster than I think even those of us that think about this the most believed.
Gorin and the scientists carbon-dated bedrock that was recently exposed by retreated glaciers by measuring beryllium-10 and carbon-14 nuclide levels and found that the concentrations were nearly zero. The decay rate of these nuclides shows that the rock hadn't been exposed during the Holocene era, which dates back 11,700 but could go back even further.
Basically, if your rock can see the sky, it's accumulating these nuclides. I would bet my whole life savings that, in fact, these glaciers are now smaller than they've been since the last interglacial.
The research was led by Boston College and included input from scientists at the University of Galway. Glaciers act as important indicators of climate change, with their global retreat accelerating over recent decades.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather scene. And that is all that we have this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website, our YouTube channel, or download a mobile app, VTVgo, for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.